So let's do that, shall we? All right. So we're going to go through a couple different websites here and talk about the coronal mass ejection that is headed Earth's way. And you'll get a little bit of a systematic view of what it is we look at. There I am. Hello. There I'm not. Oh, there I am. Excellent. All right, so we saw a massive CME come out of this area, and a portion of that ejecta from the sun's corona will be indeed headed, it is indeed headed our direction at the moment. And so let's take a look at that by going to the SDO website. So the Solar Dynamics Observatory has this AIA HMI browse data setting. And if you look at just today's data, 193 angstroms is definitely a noteworthy wavelength because we've got transverse waves coming out of this coronal mass ejection. So it's at a perfect location for this zoom. And so check it out. Quite a spectacular coronal mass ejection, and you can see it reverberating across the surface of the sun. So a prime example of reasons to believe that there is condensed matter down there, making up the, shall we say, dark interior. So there is that. That is interesting, wouldn't you say? So we're also going to go to some other sites here, so just bear with me a minute. This video was originally streamed live, and so you'll have to deal with a moment of the sites loading each time we go to a different site here. So not a produced video here. This was a live stream. Allow me to vanish. And let's head to, again, just bear with me a minute here, folks. And let's head to some other pages here. So this was a C-class solar flare. If we look at the GOES X-ray flux, the moment was right here. Peak flux was, that was 620 or so. 6:20 to 6:30 universal time early this morning. And if we head to the Integrated Space Weather Analysis Center, we can show you more of that. So if we bring up the video here, we're going to go back 90 frames. And we'll also break out the LASCO C2 and C3. To show you how indeed these are Earth directing CMEs. And we'll just do 90 frames on all of them. There was some missing data on a couple of those earlier. We won't worry about that as now we have existing data. So first thing is stereo A. And if you're wondering where stereo A is located, it is at Lagrangian 0.5. So right there, it trails the Earth. The Earth travels in this direction, orbitally speaking, the same way the sun rotates. It sees space weather ahead of Earth. That's why it's called stereo A. So there's that coronagraph. Great view of that coronal mass ejection. And this tells us whether or not it's lined up on a north-south line from the Earth. So the Earth would be off in this direction. out this way, about on the solar equator, as it is close to the equinox. And indeed, you can see portions of this massive coronal mass ejection are certainly lined up with Earth from a north-south perspective. Looking at it from Lagrange point 1, the location of the LASCO C2 and C3, located right here between Earth and Sun, about 1 million miles toward the Sun in between the Earth at that Lagrange point. And you can see ejecta all around the coronagraph here. And some relativistic particles did make it to the Earth's geospace. So there you go. You can see there is a halo ejection there. It looks like more of the material is headed to the west, but a significant portion is headed directly toward Earth. Keep in mind, Earth is moving in this direction. You know, from your left to right in this imagery. So just a prime example there of an Earth-facing coronal mass ejection. By the way, smAsho.com/forum does indeed have a solar events logger. So I wanted to let everybody know about that also. I just updated that today. If you've got things you'd like to add yourself, head to the Sun forum at smAsho.com/forum. And right there is our solar events logger. I meant to actually pin this earlier. I'll do it now. Oh, I'm not logged in. All right, never mind. Anyway, there's the solar events logger. And we've just recently updated this. You can see one of the few X-class flares of solar cycle 25. And anyway, there's our documentation of the proton flux and the CME showing up there in the solar events logger. So check that out if you like. And again, if you'd like to contribute, feel free. Let's see if I can get some better data here from the LASCO. The LASCO C3. Give you a little bit of more of a zoomed out view here, I think. And there is some missing data there, but again, there were relativistic particles. Picked up by the GOES proton flux. So there was just a minor, it is an ongoing proton event here, but it's very minor. So there you go. We may have some high frequency radio absorption going on. And thanks for leaving comments. Thanks for leaving comments, Ms. Creighton. Also, Mama D1K. Yes, yes. Thanks everybody for leaving comments. Cheers. We will premiere this video on YouTube afterwards, by the way. All right, so let's yeah, there's an ongoing proton event going on here, folks. So again, it's quite minor. And let's see if we do see any HF absorption going on. We may see some polar disruptions here. If so, they'll be very minor. Nothing even showing up there at all. So not a lot to comment on there. Again, this one is Earth directed. We can expect to see the ejecta showing up, probably causing something like a KP6 event, the kind of thing that NOAA's been forecasting, despite no CMEs headed our way. So yeah, when it comes to forecasting, there is a limit where you can over forecast, under forecast, etc. Let's see if we can bring up some composite imagery here of the last day. It doesn't like those wavelengths today. Here's 304, 211, and 171. This is a good one. So some added imagery here from the SDO. Zoom that out to a full disk view. That's just today, the 28th of September. About 16 hours. So that's the sort of reason that we have CME watches. And we only do forecast CMEs on the Earth-facing portion of the sun and around the poles. So here's a prime example of why to have a CME watch. And anyway, what great footage that is. Let's see if this composite shows up also. This is 335, 193, and 94. And they are color-coded, so the 335 is actually green in this imagery. 193 is blue, and 94 is red. Hence the purple and green color scheme. But just spectacular imagery there of that C-class flare and coronal mass ejection. Just figured we would make a video about that real quick. How about some more wavelengths, you say? All right. Let's try 131, and we'll do 94 also. Can I get a slowdown? There you go. There's a slow-mo image of it. We'll also show 94 angstroms and then close this video out. Again, you can expect this ejecta from the sun to arrive in about 3 days. Here's 94 angstroms, which is in many ways the most spectacular wavelength for solar flares. This one, like the last one actually, like the last major solar flare, was actually like a giant sheet like this, like a huge, almost like a giant sail-like feature. And that one was angled correctly to get some relativistic particles to make it to Earth. So that's what we're looking at in the proton flux, the relativistic particles making it to the planet Earth. And yeah, so there you have it. There's the source of that little bit of activity. Expect a coronal mass ejection, at least a moderate strike. I'd say a KP6 event. It was pretty fast moving, so you know, approximately 3 days from when we saw this. And yeah, I woke up to a radio burst this morning. And, you know, we noticed some of the data wasn't there when we did this morning's daily space weather video. So this is our daily space weather supplemental. We'll go back to streaming momentarily on Twitch. Once again, YouTube viewers, this video was originally streamed to Twitch, and expect us to stream regularly on the platform in the near and ongoing future. In any case, thanks for tuning in, everybody, wherever you viewed the video on whatever platform. I've been your host, Dan, aka smAsho, signing off from the Smash News Network. Least busted, naming news.